The best part of heaven. My last video was about the worst part of hell, but this video is about the best part of heaven. And there's a lot of great things about heaven. There's too many to list off, but there's one thing about heaven that makes heaven so amazing, and that is God. You see, the thing about heaven is that heaven is not a place that just came out of nowhere. Heaven is God. Like it says in the Bible, God created the heavens and the earth. So heaven is God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. The best part about heaven is spending the eternity with God. That is so amazing. That is such a blessing. You get to talk to God whenever you want. You get to celebrate God whenever you want. You get to worship God whenever you want with no distractions, no devil, no demons, no temptation, no sin, no evilness. Just you and God in heaven. And you get to look at God. You get to see God's face, which is so amazing because as it says in the Bible, no human can look at God and live. Wow, that is so powerful. Another great thing about heaven is that you get to hear those 7 powerful words. Well done, my good and faithful servant. That is so amazing. Getting to be known by God. Your name written in the book of life. You won. You won in life. You won. It's basically you winning the lottery or you winning $1 billion, $1 trillion. Having God knowing your name. Knowing your name, knowing your face, knowing your life, just knowing everything about you. Because as humans, we know God, but does God knows us? And having God knowing you, oh man, you won. Like anything bad that happened in your life, it won't matter anymore. All the sadness, all the anxiety, all the sin, all the temptation, all the wickedness, all the evilness, all the pain, the suffering, all that will vanish because God knows your name and God says well done to you and you get to be in heaven with God. That is so amazing. Glory be to God. But before we get to heaven and worship God, we have to worship God here on earth. So that means we have to continue our lives worshiping God, spreading His word, helping people out so that they can get to know God and get to heaven as well. Because we do not want to leave anyone here behind. We do not want anyone going to hell. We want everyone to worship God, help people out, so that they can get to see God in heaven, get to worship God in heaven, and get to celebrate with God in heaven. So we have a lot of work to do here on earth, and no one should be left behind. That's why we need to share the gospel. We need to read our Bibles. We need to pray to God. We have to help people out because heaven, anyone can go to heaven, but not that many get to heaven because they don't know God, they don't know Jesus, they are not fed His word, they are not fed with Jesus's body and blood. They they just live their lives not knowing God, or if they do know God, they choose not to worship or follow God. They choose to follow their own flesh. They continue to worship Satan, just doing all this wicked, evil stuff. So that's why we need to step in and help people out, open their eyes, and see that Jesus is the only way to heaven. There's no other way to heaven. You can't buy a ticket to heaven. It's not a vacation. You're not going to the Bahamas or Jamaica or something. You have to worship Jesus to get to heaven. So please, let's help other people out. Let other people see how amazing God is because God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are the only way to heaven. And we want everyone to be worshiping in heaven. We want everyone to be celebrating with God in heaven because heaven is amazing and heaven is God. And the best part about heaven is spending an eternity with God.